Take him down.
Oh, that's the stuff.
I'm stuck. Take that.
Lava beyond sick.
You were saying?
Lava beyond sick.
Your orders?
Lavaru beyond sick.
I've got this, Captain.
Lava beyond sick. Lava beyond sick.
Mo, Ixie, Alna, son of a cur!
I've got it.
You were saying? Can do.
Will not happen.
I taste his fear. Open, open.
Take him down.
Lavaru beyond sick.
Got it.
Mo, Ixie, Alna.
Huh? I'll get it open. Done. Sure.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Just keep that bird away from my work.
Stand down, Ishii. The man is doing important work.
Slave sphincter, those snakes were noisy. I don't suppose you brought any extra parchment with you? I'm writing it all down. My research, my work, something to survive before the next walk-in Colossus, the next Naga warband. Do you need something? If not, I should focus. So much to do. What didn't? A Colossus made of Adra marched through the fort, grew bright like luminous, and scores of soldiers fell dead. Incredible.
If Aethys got to them first, then you can fit their remains in a pouch of white leaf.
Then the Naga killed everyone else. Except Latharn, I suppose. Yes, he must have left. Dawnstar fellow. Arrived yesterday, last week, complained of strange dreams. Smart of him to leave so soon.
He's gotta be acting on his dreams, trying to help our god.
They should split up. Safer that way. Better odds. Do you need something? If only one. Just a prototype. In there.
Captain, I don't ask for much. I need to see this thing go off.
It is most impressive. You're welcome to it. I only ask that you compile notes on the blast radius, detonation temperature, smoke formation, debris trajectory. How indeed. Naga everywhere. Suppose your best chance will be up along the walls, west and south. But how to get there? Better perhaps to keep going south, around the edge of the fort, through Fleet Master Ko's office. More cover from the Naga. Safety in numbers, eh? A comforting illusion. Let the others have it if they wish it. I must see that my work survives.
Is there anything else?
As you can see, we have need of it. Rawatayans do not do anything in half measures. The Deadfire is a savage place, something that Valian coin counters and Huana tribals do not seem to recognize. But our people conquered Rawatai 2 millennia ago. We understand what it takes to survive, to tame a wild land.
Found something.
Got someone.
Let's go.
Lavaru, be on sick.
Ah, remember this little soldier? Glad to see you made it, friend. Got someone in my sights.
Lavaru, be on sick.
No can do.
The sea-striped fiends send you to uproot the tree of the gods, yes? Their blasphemy knows no bounds.
Give the order, Captain. Or just nod. I'm not picky.
So, the fiends corrupt even the sand-striped ones. Now I taste their stench on her. If you join them in befouling the Adra, then you will join them in death, too. The tree of the gods, yes, which these fiends plunder and profane. Go, carry a warning of what you have seen to the other shufflers. That shufflers must not disturb these roots, or the gods will destroy the islands again. Do your stories say nothing of the many disasters? Of the shuffler nests washed away like foam? Many generations ago, the sand-striped ones built great hives across the islands, and bastions around the Adra roots. They did not build alone. The sand-striped ones helped, as they help other fiends now. Their meddling displeased the gods, so the gods smashed their works with heaving volcanoes and crashing waves. You shufflers are beasts of habit. You do not learn. You do not change. You cast off your sheddings by night, only to put them back on at daybreak. You wrap yourself in filthy, worn-out things. Our ancestors hid deep, where the waters quenched the fires and muffled the storms. They remembered while shufflers scattered. Now, the shufflers build again. The gods see. They will tear them all down. If your fat tongue speaks true, then give us proof. If this is not some fat-tongued lie, then show us. Approach. Restore the blessing of the gods to the Adra.
As your hand touches the dim Adra, you feel the same cool, pricking sensation that you did when you touched the pillar near Port Mage. You concentrate on the pillar. The world around you swiftly falls away, leaving only the vast emptiness of the in-between. The Adra, and a multitude of golden threads undulating off into the distance. For a second time, you gather the threads in your mind and bind them together, forming a solid tether that ripples out toward its distant anchor. Again, a crack sounds from the terminus. Your consciousness is violently pulled along the cord. You are prepared for the sensation this time, but are still disoriented when you come to a sudden stop. You find yourself standing behind a familiar Titanic statue as it trudges through invisible waters. Standing at Aethys' shoulder, your soul is dwarfed by the massive god's form. Energy pulses along the tether, each wave feeding the Adra's movements. He stops. His head cranes behind him, again accompanied by the sound of stone shearing and buckling. His eyes rest upon you. He does not reach for the cord, but considers you for a long span of silence before speaking.
Your first attempt to contact me was brave. This second attempt, is it born out of desperation or something else? Why do you continue to follow me, Watcher of Cadnua? There was no malice in that act. It was a coincidence of time, place, and necessity.
Aethys' voice grows fainter as he speaks.
I am sorry for what I did, but it was done for the hope of a better future. Even a god needs strength. This form requires much more than that of a mortal kith. Without those souls in Cadnua, I would never have been able to free myself. Thousands that you know of, millions unknown to you. Death follows us both, Watcher. We must always care and take care, but caring is not enough.
Aethys becomes silent. You can sense his presence advancing back along the cord between you. His energy flows over your hand, tendrils of light probing into the air around you. They poke and prod at the silent lost souls hovering in your vicinity.
You are in a unique position. In spite of the work of the Leaden Key and Hand Occult, you have seen through our facade. You know the gods' true nature. Without the benefit of your knowledge, few mortals would be willing to accept the true history of their gods. After all, we weren't. The last time I walked Aora, I made a mistake in not revealing my true purpose. I believe you would understand it better than most. Yes, I will tell you, but this is not the time. As I take this body farther from the lighthouse, the tether grows weaker, and I have already tarried too long. Soon this link will unravel completely. If I have not reached my destination when that happens, I will need to pull more souls from your world. It is. When you contacted me from Port Mage, I had to sever my tether to the Luminous Adra. Without it, I lacked the strength to reach Hasongo. I pulled souls from the creatures of the ocean and from the people at Hasongo until I could reach the lighthouse. The soldiers in Naga there were no threat to me. I did not kill them out of malice, but simply to keep this body moving. Not a vulnerability, but a dire and terrible limitation. One that I knew before I took this form.
The edges of Aethys' massive form blur and dissolve. The huge figure retreats from you. As it moves, the tether begins to rapidly unravel. As Aethys speaks, his voice sounds garbled, fragmented, and distant.
If you would know more, find me at the Ashen Maw in Margren's Teeth. I must rest there before I begin my final work. When I leave that place, you will not be able to follow. Before I go, I should return some of this to you. I still have need of the great power of your soul, but I can spare you this portion.
A pulse of energy moves back along the golden cord toward you. It feels familiar, comforting, even before it contacts you. The energy washes over you, flooding you with feelings and memories you had thought long forgotten until they settle back into the cracks of your soul. And then the tether and cord snap. Aethys' figure evaporating into dust that mingles with the endless gray expanse. Heat rushes over you, and the uncomfortable sensation of the Audra Pillar's presence cuts off. The gloom of the in-between is pierced by the light of the living world. You are back in the lighthouse, no longer dim. The luminous Audra beside you is filled with warmth and light.
Long have we kept peace with the sand-striped people. But then, the foreign ones came and spread, killed our people, built their hives everywhere.
Your type weren't exactly accommodating.
We were sure the Godwalker came to cast them out, that driving them away was a holy mission. Shufflers find many stories to explain their hunger and violence. We must go. I know not what this means, but our brethren should hear of it.
Not an option, Snake. Bet you were keeping count of how many good soldiers you fanged. Captain? Aye, aye, sir.
You show us something new today, Shuffler. Thank you for this, and for your mercy.
Captain, a word? You've spoken to Aethys, which means you know what we're up against. If the fleet sailed up to him and fired every cannon at once, I imagine we'd have a fighting chance at taking a chip off his kneecap. There's no stopping him, is there? If that's a joke, it's a poor one. I suppose there's a certain appeal to recognizing the inevitable. We don't have to waste our breath trying to stop it. It reminds me of the first time I shot to kill. There he stood, a pirate captain barking orders from the forecastle. Out of everyone's range but mine. The wind toyed with us. I took aim, never thinking I'd make the shot, but then I felt this awareness, like someone out there was aiming me. A cannon blast took me by surprise. I squeezed off a shot, expecting it to fly wide. But the bullet took my target between his eyes. I don't know if Bareth kicked open a door or the Sky Mother held my hand, but that man was meant to die. I've got that same feeling now. Better or worse, I know that Aethys is meant to succeed. Choice is a funny word. I never planned to live by the gun. One day I put a bullet through a Bronze Oa while the Ronganui happened to be watching, and the rest was history. I can still take pride in my work, if that's what you're asking. Hope I didn't take the wind out of your sail. Whether or not we can change anything, at least we can say we were there. That's more than most people get.
I've got some answers.
Yeah, sure.
The snakes are fooling themselves if they think this is over.
Had another one of your talks there, didn't you? You gonna share details, or do we gotta guess?
When the captain goes all starry-eyed like that, the crew starts to ask questions.
I was rather hoping someone else would bring that up.
You don't look like you're gonna be sick this time, so I take it that's a good sign?
If his goal is to bathe his nethers in molten rock, I'm in no hurry to stop him.
I'm ready to chase Gone if you are.
Oh, good thing we're in the Deadfire, where the volcanoes definitely aren't going to awaken at any time.
Scale-bellied cowards! I knew they'd run! Look at our beacon. Even the Colossus couldn't destroy it. And those snakes aren't so tough now, are they? Of course. The Hanzanui will want to thank you personally for your help here. And she should also know what we're up against. Looking for a real challenge after what you did to those scale bellies? The only thing I know about the place is it's supposedly made of fire. And no one's ever come back from it. But anything can be overcome. She's usually at the Brass Citadel in clear skies.
Light of Aethys be upon you, neighbor. Are you looking for survivors?
A short lady, about my age, came from Deerwood with her son. Let's see, freckles, braids usually. Punches you in the arm if she likes you, face if not. Oh, and that's if you're lucky.
No, that doesn't sound like anyone.
You gotta be her son. Got her nose and her freckles. You don't have to lie to me, kid. I'm a friend of your mother's. She hiding from someone? Maybe an ex-lover who gave her the best night of her life?
No, I misspoke.
Forget it. Just tell me something. Your father, you know him?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Lions, bats, and Orlans, to name a few.
Yes, I knew my father when I was very young. He was a man of strong faith.
Have to be. You get a lava mad, you need a god on your side for protection.
He was lost to us during the purges, which was how we came to flee here.
So you met him. Well, that's great. You had a dad. Where's your mother now? Got a lot of catching up to do.
My mother is with Aethys. She passed the Veil a few years ago. A flu. It's possible her soul has taken a new body by now, but if she was truly blessed, she marches instead beside the Shining God.
You lied to us. Said you didn't know her. Expect me to believe this now? Well, he hides his grief pretty well, doesn't he?
I'm not lying. She's buried on the other side of that hill.
How could she be gone?
Don't be troubled by her passing. All souls that march with Aethys receive his warmth and light. Aethys has come to us twice now. Even Oblivion couldn't slow his march. We shouldn't have opposed his first coming. He meant to rally us under his banner.
Well, I know a lot of Dead Deer Woodens who will be relieved to hear that. And seeing what we've seen, it's hard to believe they got our best interests at heart.
Aethys forced everyone to declare themselves as ally or enemy, nothing more. Now he marches again, and we have a chance to correct our mistake.
Whoa, that's charitable.
I would like to have joined him when he passed this way, but I was weak. It won't happen again. You can't build on broken foundations. Real change needs destruction. I trust my God knows better than I do. He knows truths I'll never learn.
And got that right.
I was once lost. I struggled as you do now. But the partisans of the lighted path have restored my faith in Aethys. What greater honor than to march in his vanguard? We began as children of the Dawnstars, separated from each other as we questioned our purpose. But then Aethys granted a vision to Gadarian Bosch. Bosch saw an illuminated path lighten the way through a black abyss. And he saw Aethys marching on the path, and Aethys bade him to march alongside.
Not quite how I've been seeing it, but everyone's open to their own interpretations.
And the Shining God told Gadarian Bosch to gather an army of the God's truest followers, and to prepare to lead it into battle.
You'd think after getting blown up, he'd slow down on the battling.
We don't know. The end of the path hasn't been revealed to Gadarian Bosch yet, but to the faithful, it shouldn't matter. There'll be a great journey, but we're prepared. Gadarian Bosch knows the way. Aethys himself has appeared in Deadfire in the form Gadarian Bosch foretold. That's more proof than any of his faithful could ever ask. What fortune to be given this opportunity, to know our God in the living world. Gadarian Bosch warned us. Those outside the partisans may ridicule us and test our faith, especially our old families and others close to them. We've learned it's best to keep to ourselves and those with open minds, which relations and friends mostly aren't.
We can go. Hey, kid. What was your name again?
Bairn.
Right. This lighted path fellow, Bosch. Sounds interesting. There's some way I can meet him?
He's usually on the move, rallying followers. But the partisans of the lighted path often gather in the Temple of Aethys in Neketaka. I am soon to go there myself, in fact. There's an adherent there, Ogna, who initiates new partisans. No doubt she'd be pleased to help you. Aethys needs able soldiers, even in their elder years. You should consider what Ogna has to say. It might speak to you. Farewell.